What's going on, everybody? It's Rich Nicks. Oh my god, we got so much to talk about. So James Charles finally has announced and talked about what everyone's been talking about for like a while now, about his palette being inside Marshalls or TJ Maxx, Ross, or the flea market, whatever. Girl, let me go, roll. Here we go.
I've been tagged in this video hundreds of times as if my palette being sold in TJ Maxx is supposed to be super embarrassing. Maybe I'm weird, but like, I don't see it that way. In fact, I honestly think it's like really cool, low-key. This palette is 4 years old. If you really think about it, most makeup products launch and are popular for like 4 minutes. So the fact that 4 years later people are still talking about this palette is a literal miracle. Like, millions of people have gotten their hands on this palette, which is the biggest blessing that I could ever ask for. Nothing can be popular forever, so of course, years later, it's going to be sold to stores like this because the brand's got to get rid of the stock. That's just how business works. Now, whether you love me or hate me, you can get a great formula for a super, super affordable price, so who cares? Like, I'm done. My contract is up. I bought my house with this palette. I bought my parents a house with this palette. My makeup line I've developed with the money that I made from this palette. I'm forever grateful for what this palette did, but I've moved on, and so should everybody else.
Okay, so let's talk, because I feel like we need to talk. So I was shopping at Marshalls, and I stumbled upon the James Charles palette. I believe I may have been, whatever, around the first few people to ever, like, find it there, whatever. But it was you guys, the sneaky snakes, who love Marshalls and Ross and TJ Maxx, were, like, sending it to me on Instagram. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is here. It's so funny, right? That it's just, like, here in this video, he's like, oh yeah, I find it to be cool that it's there. Is this palette for it? It's like, girl, shut up. No, you don't. Because honestly, back in the day, you had no control over where this palette was gonna be sold at other than Morphe, okay? So many times you said that palette was sold out, you're so happy, but honestly, it's a decent palette. Like, I have even owned the palette. The big one, the small one. I don't know, did they not make that much small ones? Because mainly the big ones I see at the Marshalls or the Ross or whatever, girl, but you know. The palette was decent, right? Yes, I think it does tend to stain the eye because it has the chemicals in it that does that, you know, whatever. It's like not like an eyeshadow palette, it's like a pigment palette or something, whatever. But, because there was that controversy too. Regardless of that situation, I just want to say that, you know, I do think that it's a great idea that it's at Marshalls or Ross or TJ Maxx because it makes people who couldn't afford it, like then, afford it now. Is it the most iconic palette in the world? In my opinion, I don't think so. But I do know it. I do know of it, and it's really huge and has a lot of colors in it. But for James Charles to like sit up there and just so nonchalantly say, I bought my house with this palette, I bought my parents' house with this palette, my contract over, and I'm making my own makeup line, like, I think was a little bit like condescending to his fans. Like, again, he's clapping back at his fans because let's not forget, he clapped back just like 3 days ago. Gotta clutch my pearls. He clapped back like 3 days ago about the palette. He really did. To a fan. Let us not forget that. So here he is today, and I just kind of got the vibe. Like, instead of so graciously saying, hey guys, I know that my palette is inside Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, flea market. Like, I know, you know, it's there. I'm super happy it's there. I love the palette. It's at a great price. So now that way everyone can afford it now if you couldn't afford it before. And I really do hope that you like the palette. And I love Morphe. It was a great moment together. And I think it's a really good business strategy that they put the remaining palettes there. And honestly, like, you guys know that stuff at Marshalls and Ross, it's there Monday and gone Tuesday. So if you see it, pick it up because like that could be it. It could be. But instead, talking so condescendingly to his subscribers, I think was just kind of like, why are you doing that? Like, he doesn't need to be doing that, but yet he like does it. Does that make sense? Like, I hope that like somewhere in that vibe, like, it makes sense or whatever. But I don't know. I just kind of feel that way. I think that he could have handled it way differently. And again, he's like laying in his bed, which if you look the other time he did it, he was laying in his bed too. It's like he gets in bed and just start like researching himself.
I'm watching people try so hard to get the top comment on my videos by saying dumb shit like this. Because what does this even mean? He thought he did something? Babe, what do you, what do you think that I think I did? Like, do you envision me like hitting post on this video and sitting there being like, oh, 100 million likes, here we go, this is the video, you guys, this is it. I just did the trend. Took me 30 seconds to film, hit post, haven't thought about it since. Like, it's not that deep. Like, what do you think you did with this comment? Do you think this is gonna be your moment? Yeah, I thought it was gonna go viral. 2,000 likes from bullying James Charles. Time to quit the job, move to LA, become a star. Yeah. God, I love
finds this and then he just like starts talking about it. That's how I think about situations. Like, cause honestly, he could easily just like not even address it at all. Like, this palette has been at Ross and Marshalls for a very long time. It's not even a month, not even 2 or 3 or 4 months. Like this, I have seen this palette time and time again when I go to Marshalls. But not only that, his brushes are there too. So I do think that he gets looped into Jeffree Star when Jeffree Star made a comment about like he doesn't want his stuff sold at discount stores or whatever, or something like that. I don't know, some weird thing like that. But so I think people are either they're being shady and like knocking him down, like, oh look, it's in the discount rack, it's on the clearance or whatever. They're either trying to do that because and I can only say, like, why would people do that, right? I'm just trying to put myself in his position and like the people's position. Maybe because it was so hyped up, right? It was such a hyped up palette that it sold out, it did so good. Why are we still seeing it if it was like that bomb.com? Does that make sense? Like, why? Because like I don't ever see Kylie Cosmetics inside the Ross Marshalls or whatever. Not to say that hers is any better or whatever, but like, you know, I just kind of feel like I haven't seen Natasha Denona, I haven't seen any Danessa Myricks stuff sent out the Raw. I'm just saying, okay? I don't know. I see it like Chanel, like I see both sides of the situation. I've been courtside and courtroom. Okay, I see it, but I just see it all. So I do think that people are kind of being shady, but James Charles handled it like this, and I think because he comes across so like I'm like better than thou, or I'm like higher than you, or whatever, or my palette, it's just the way it comes across, or like my palette was so good to find it at the Ross. I think people are trying to knock him down a peg because if it was so good and it sold out so well and it did record-breaking numbers and whatever the case may be, who knows? Why is it at the Ross? Why is it here? Why is the James Charles palette at the Ross? Like, why is that? And I just kind of feel like Morphe oversold. They bought too many palette and they're just sitting with them, and so they're like, hey, let's ship them over to the Ross, TJ Maxx, or the Marshall. That's what I think. That's generally what I think about the situation. Could I be wrong? Let me touch my pearls. I think I could. Wait, can you like screenshot this? There you go. Oh my god, that's such a good screenshot. Oh, hold on. This is a better screenshot. Wait, you gotta do it just right like this. Damn it, how do I look so fat? Hold on, okay, see, I look skinnier here. Oh my god, screenshot that and tag me on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. I love it. Okay, like, whatever. When you type in Rich Lugs, can that be the thing that pops up? You know what I'm saying? That would be crazy. Okay, but even James Charles is like, where's the next palette, girl? James Charles been talking about he's gonna have this new palette come out, his new makeup line. Let's not forget, he said, I'm gonna have my new makeup line coming out. Where's the new makeup line at? It's been months. So James Charles posted this on his Instagram. It says, good morning, my pimple, sorry for not posting. I was in the makeup lab all day yesterday. So people were saying, like, is the makeup causing James Charles to break out? You know, the James Charles makeup line that he has coming out recently. So that was kind of interesting too. I'm like, oh girl, this is not a good look already. You had years to prepare. Now, very interesting. He said in this video that his Morphe contract is up. This is what I want to say. This is what all the news articles are about today. This is where we're going to talk about this. You're not going to believe it. Hold on, let me get dressed up because I don't go anywhere without my jewels. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Ready to go? Okay, ready to go. I feel that he put his foot in his mouth here when he said, my contract with Morphe is up. Okay, so the contract would be palette being sold at Morphe. We can sell our palette wherever we want to afterwards. We're going to license your name for X amount of time, but whatever, right? Put you on the website, X amount of time, stuff like that. We withhold the ability to take you off the website, or stuff like that, right? Okay. Hear me out. When he said that his contract with Morphe is up, this would also mean that he can now start his own makeup line, his own makeup brand. Because I would assume that his contract with Morphe would withhold him. So it'd be like, okay, we're going to do a palette with you, but you can't do any other palettes for X amount of years. And you can't start your own other brand for X amount of years. And you can't even start the word James Charles palette for X amount of years. And like stuff like that. So I kind of feel like he can't do James Charles Cosmetics, Sister Cosmetics. He can't do that because he said he can't. Let's not forget. He said he couldn't. Then he went on to say that the contract is up. So if that is true, now he's researching how to do his own makeup line and stuff like that. When you got people like Patrick Starr who has investors to help him put him in Sephora, I think that James Charles is a little lazy here. We're saying in other videos, he's like stuck in limbo or whatever. Because, I mean, he still can't even find out his foundation shade. Let's not forget that. On his neck or whatever. But like, check this out. Hear me out. Have I lost you? Come back up. Because hold on. he should have been on this, that the day that this contract is up, boom, launches. James Charles, whatever makeup line, whatever name he wants to do it as, boom, in Ulta or Sephora or whatever. Bergdorf Goodman's, hello, I would love that. Exclusively Bergdorf Goodman's, which, if you don't know what Bergdorf Goodman is one of my favorite retailers. It's this huge, huge bougie store in New York. And it's only in New York. Or he can launch it at Saks Fifth Avenue, because they're like all over the place, right? Saks Fifth Avenue's like, oh my god, it was so amazing. Online exclusive, Saks Fifth Avenue, kind of like that. I don't know. I just kind of feel like James Charles literally could have been on this so that when the contract ends, boom, 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 things are dropping for him. But I think he's just very much lazy. I think maybe he just has so much money, he's just like, oh girl, I got it made. You know, which then begs to differ. If you bought your mom a house, your house, because the house was like, what, 3 million or 2 million or something like that? And the parents' house was like maybe 2 million, so like 3, 4, 5. So that's like 5 million right there. If what you're saying is true, then you bought that Tesla too, so that's like, what, 200,000? Like, and then you got the Birkin, let's not forget about the Birkin bag and the stupid high heels he got there, and he shopped at Louis Vuitton. So, I mean, he's talking about $10 million so far. I don't think that his Morphe collab was $10 million. I could be wrong. I'll be shocked, but I could be wrong. Which then would explain why he doesn't really upload that much anyway. But, I don't know. He exposed a lot. Let me know what you think about that drama in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, love you so much.